In today's video, I'm going to teach you how to tie a tie with a perfect dimple. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love helping the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes. Join me as we explore the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. For a lot of people, tying a tie with a perfect dimple can be quite intimidating, even difficult. In this video, I'm going to show you just how easy it is to tie a beautiful, sophisticated tie knot with the perfect center dimple. Of course, everyone has their favorite tie knot, and mine, without question, is the old Bertie. It's an uncommon knot that has a slightly asymmetric look to it. It's not too large or square like a full Windsor, and this to me is an incredibly elegant and easy to tie knot. So let's get started. Of course, the length of your tie is very important. Depending on how tall you are, you might need a longer tie than is standard. This tie I'm using today is a beautiful Kirby Allison sovereign grade tie in 150 centimeters, and it's a beautiful ancient matter tie. I always tie my ties with the collar popped because that allows me to see the relative length of the tie as it lines up across the collar band. Now there's two things you really want to pay attention to. One, you want to make sure that your tie is set as high up on the collar band as possible because you don't want it poking down below the collar band once the tie is tied. Second, I always use this seam across the small end of the tie to help me figure out where I'm going to line up my ties. So I know for all of our Kirby Allison sovereign grade ties that I want this seam just right here, kind of next to where my collar stay sleeve is. So that helps me figure out what the length of the tie is going to be. Then you're going to take the small end is on the left side, the large end is on the right side. I'm going to grab both ends. I'm going to take the large end over the small end, and then pinching these, I'm going to then take it up through the back, then around, this is my right hand, around the right side, around the back, again pinching. So I'm holding the tie knot, and I'm pinching this with the back of my thumb and my two index fingers. I'm going to take it over those fingers and then up. Now you'll see I'm using these fingers here just to help create that space because it just makes it easier to then take the tie back through. So there we go. Now this is the secret to really tying a beautiful dimple. One, you want to be sure that the tie is lying cleanly, there's no folds up here. And then you take the back small blade, pull it tight. You take a large blade with just, again, your thumb and index finger, pinch it, and then pull it tight. Now that process, because it really pinches the tie right through there, really ensures that you get a perfect dimple. So there we go. Then I like to look and just make sure that it is at the top of my collar band. I then fold that over, and you always want to check to make sure that your tie is not poking out from underneath your collar band. I then button, and then bring it up to a nice tight knot. So again, let's go through this one more time. So I'm going to start with my collar popped. Next, I always check the length of the tie using this side seam and align it to approximate my collar stay sleeve. And then, let's see, so large end is on the right side, small end is on the left side. I'm going to take the large end over the small, pinch, take it back up and through. Then this is over to the right, around the back, up in front. Again, I'm using my fingers to help just keep that opening large, pulling the large blade back through, and then through here, that opening, right? And then I gently pull it. I want to make sure it's all clean. Pull the back blade tight, and then pinch, and you get a perfect knot. Now, before I tighten it too much, just want to make sure that this is as high up as possible, not poking out from underneath the collar band. Button my collar, and then pull it tight. Beautiful. Now one more time. So first, I'm going to pop my collar. Then I'm going to take my tie, and I'm going to check the length. And I normally use this seam right here and line it up against my collar stay sleeve. Want to make sure it's aligned as close to the top of your collar band as possible. Take the large end over the small end. Pinch it. Get back through the top. around to the right, behind the knot, back in front. Then I'm going to use these fingers here just to make sure that I can get this large blade back through the front of the knot. Now once I get that all done, first I want to straighten the tie, make sure there's no folds. Then I'm going to take the small end and pull it. The large end, I'm going to pinch it in the middle and pull it tight. See, beautiful knot. Again, I always check to make sure that my tie is at the top of the collar band, button my shirt, and then simply tighten the tie. Now I like to adjust the knot a little bit. Now one final time, nice and slow for you. So step one, you want to adjust the length of the tie. It's where you have the length at this point that really determines whether or not it's too long or too short. I know that this small seam right here generally ties the proper length if it's aligned with the collar stay loop. So here we go. All right, so I've got the long blade in my right hand, the short blade in my left hand. I'm going to take the long blade over the right. I'm going to pinch the two. Then I'm going to take the long blade, or the large blade, back through the, take it through the back, up, and over. All right, so now then I'm going to take it around back on the right. Again, pinching the knot at every point whenever I kind of pass it off from hand to hand. And then here, taking it around the front, this is going to form the front of the knot. I'm using my fingers to just create an opening. Then I'm going to take it up and over. And then through. Now before you pull the knot tight, you want to make sure that all this is lying flat. Then I'm going to take the small end and pull it. The large end, I'm going to pinch it in the middle and pull it tight. Fold my collar over, button it, and then pull it tight. So there you go. You can see how easy this old Bertie knot is to tie. Beautiful dimple, which is really the mark of an excellently tied tie. The other thing you really want to pay attention to is the relative length of the large blade and the small blade. You want them to be approximately the same length. It can extend a little bit past the large blade or be a little bit short, depending on how tall you are. What's more important is that the front blade or the large blade is really coming down to right at the trouser band. You definitely don't want it too much longer. The one exception is if you have a particularly high-waisted pair of trousers, it is okay for your large blade to extend past the trouser band and down a little bit. One of the things you definitely want to avoid is the short blade being too short. Anything more than just 1 or 2 inches above the tip of the large blade, then that would be the indication that you need a longer tie. This one is a standard 150 centimeter long tie. I'm 5'10", so this would work for really anyone up to 6 feet tall, 6'1", but really anyone over 6'1", 6'2", or that has a large neck is going to need a longer 160 centimeter tie. It's for that reason that we have all of our ties made in 2 lengths, a standard 150 centimeter tie and a longer 160 centimeter tie for taller gentlemen. If you're looking for beautiful neckties like this Ancient Matter tie I'm wearing today, click the link in the upper right-hand corner and view our Kirby Allison Sovereign Grade collection of neckties that we have made exclusively for us in England. We use the finest silks, but arguably even more importantly, the best inner linings to ensure that our ties always tie a beautiful knot with the perfect dimple. I'm Kirby Allison, and I love to help the well-dressed acquire and care for their wardrobes while exploring the world of quality, craftsmanship, and tradition. Thanks for joining me.